I think if we stop telling people we have short attention spans and
Hmm.
start thinking like you do actually, I tell myself all the time that I have actually really good attention span.
Yeah,
Keep telling yourself concept that you have a long attention span.
yeah.
So quiet your mind, meditate. If you're going to a seminar, if you're going to anything where you're learning, quiet your mind. Literally.
Hello and welcome to Smart Profit AI. Today we are going to explore the top three mistakes that ruin learner engagement on the face of short attention span. I'm your host Anika, and today we have our guest Zehra, who is the CEO of Offbeat Outlook, a business coaching and consulting service. Zehra, can you please introduce yourself and your role and how you got to where you are today?
First off, just thank you so much, Anika, for inviting me to this podcast. I'm really excited to be part of this podcast you're growing. So, yes, I am a business coach, but before then, I sold $45 million worth of real estate in
Wow.
San Francisco, which was a really competitive market.
Yeah.
And I was also part of a team that was ranked as top 100 Wall Street Journal team. And I found that as fun as being a realtor was in the US, it was really transactional. And you did a lot for your clients, but it was at a superficial level.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do more client facing, but with more depth and more heart,
Okay.
which kind of led me into business coaching.
Okay, that's interesting. It's always interesting to know how a company first starts it off, what's the reason behind it, and how it adapts over time to keep it impactful and to stay relevant. So then, what does your typical day to day look like?
Um, my typical days, I wake up and it's actually really cliche, but I spend my first waking minutes listening to my own meditation tapes that I've made myself. And that's just to get me in the zone and capitalize on the delta theta brain waves
Mhm.
so that my mindset at a subconscious level is primed for the rest of the day. And then from there, I go to the gym, come back, get ready, and I'm building um, a community on Instagram and TikTok. So I'm always recording something there
Yeah,
first thing in the morning. And then again, I do a midday kind of meditation because I keep
yeah,
want to ground myself
yeah, of course.
because you really want to be mindful of your energy. So it's high energy in the morning, but
Mhm.
then in the afternoon, I'm more people focused, where it requires more inner silence of
Yeah.
me. So I do a midday meditation to calm me down so that the afternoon is for my clients and I'm grounded so I can talk to them and hear their problems and hear what they're saying behind their problems.
Okay, yeah, it's always good to know like how your energy level is throughout the day because you just need to take your step back and meditate or do what you need to do, go for a walk and just re-energize yourself to come back and focus.
Yes, energy management. I mean, everyone says watch your time, watch your money, all that stuff, but energy is the forefront. Time is not fluid. Like when you're having fun, 1 hour feels like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And when you're getting your teeth drilled at the dentist, it feels like forever. But it's because of your energy. So if you can manage your energy, your
Mhm.
output and is going to be so much stronger.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so I know last time we spoke, you said you had a lot to talk about learner engagement as something that kind of interested you. And in an age where attention span are shorter than ever, what have you seen in your work that you think are mistakes that ruin that learner engagement?
I think yeah, you can change your environment. A lot of people say change your environment, put your phone 10 feet away, put a timer. Well, like there's so many ways that you can make your physical world be undistractable,
Yeah,
but you can't hide away from your own thoughts.
yeah,
And if you're listening to a coaching call or you're trying to talk to a client, but if your mind is yapping or your heart is in pain, that's the stuff where your learner engagement goes
yeah,
down. So, how to compartmentalize in a way that is true to you, that doesn't feel like you're running away from your problems, but really trying to stay present.
Hmm.
And thankfully, I don't have ADHD. And I think it is a true superpower to have.
Yeah.
But for a normal person, I think if we stop telling people we have short attention spans and
Hmm.
start thinking like you do actually, I tell myself all the time that I
Yeah.
have actually really good attention span.
Yeah.
Keep telling yourself concept that you have a long attention span.
Yeah.
So quiet your mind, meditate. If you're going to a seminar, if you're going to anything where you're learning, quiet your mind. Literally, it takes anywhere from 30 seconds to 15 minutes to quiet your mind and then go into the zone
Yeah.
and transition. It's called a transition point when you go from one space to another space.
Yeah.
Transition your mind, quiet your mind in that moment, and I can show you tools to do that. And then you go and you start listing on that stuff.
Okay.
And that really helps.
So I would say sometimes it might not actually be the person who is actually doing the listening, but the content that they're listening to. So, for example, if they're going to a seminar, or don't you think it might be information overload that sometimes it might distract or put the attention somewhere else because there's too much information to take in?
So are we talking about the learner or the teacher in this part?
So it affects the learner. So yeah, it will be the teacher in this part, I would say.
And in this part, does the learner have a voice, or is it like a big convention and they don't have a say on how it's being done?
No, so yes, they won't have a say in how it's done.
Okay. Um, yeah, I've been in some rooms where, like, for me, I'm really empathic. So when I hear people, it gets sometimes I can't just hear what they're teaching. I hear other things that they're teaching, like the
Yeah.
stuff that's happening. And yes, it can be information overload. And for those kind of things, manage your energy. I'm all about managing your energy and time. You have a finite. So instead of trying to strain yourself and trying to listen to everything, there are so many amazing apps that
Yeah.
can record and summarize this stuff.
Yeah.
So what I would do in those moments, and I have done in those moments, it's just literally using apps and different AI tools to record the conversations
Awesome.
because I value what the teacher is saying, but I'm not able to hear it at the moment
Yeah.
because whatever, I just don't have the capacity. But the moments that I do can hear it, this is something I learned from, I think, John Wick, where he literally says, when you're hearing somebody, and I think it's such an amazing tool and I use it till this day, is you have a piece of paper where you're writing things out.
Mm-hmm.
You put on the side, a column on the side of what's happening. So leave that blank. So as you're writing, a lot of times your mind is racing when you're engaged and ideas are popping like, oh, I could put that in this. I could put this in my other part of my business or my other part of my studies, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That thought, a brilliant idea that comes in gets lost in your notes. But if you have that column on the side to
Yeah.
say, put this idea in this part of my business
Yeah.
or project, whatever, your notes become more organized.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. That's something I always do. Just keep a recording of voice audio, just so yes, you have to be focused wherever you are, but it's just to go look back onto it. So if you've missed something, you always have a voice audio or a recording of somewhat of the talk. So then you
Yeah.
can go back onto it, make some notes, and like you said as well, using AI tools to generate a transcript so then you can read over it.
I'm so happy to hear that you also use that tool because, like, I don't know anyone else that actually uses that tool.
No,
So,
yeah, anywhere I'm going, if I'm going to a seminar, webinar, somewhere online, someone that's speaking, I always have to have my audio on record, the whole thing, because if you're video recording, it might stop or it might not load. But if there's an audio memo on an Apple iPhone that you can always press and just record the whole conversation. So, and I always love to go back onto it and listen to the whole seminar again.
that's amazing. I like that. I really, well, no wonder you're talking about this topic. You're doing it pretty well yourself.
Yeah,
Um, as you were saying this, an idea came to my head that I tell some of my clients is that you have to come in with the right mindset.
of course.
So you go to a convention, there's different speakers, and a lot of times we have our first prejudice kind of views of a person. And when they open their mouth, we're like, oh, okay, this is going to be
Yeah.
a long seminar, or you just instantly don't like that person.
Mhm.
You have to put your ego aside and not, you have to be open and willing to know that you don't know the answers.
Mhm.
And a lot of this stuff, oh God, there was this instance like where I went to a business training seminar and it was the basics. I'll be
Mhm.
honest, it was the basics, but I went in there with full eagerness to
Yeah,
learn.
of course.
And the person that was sitting next to me at the business training, she went in there wanting fresh new ideas, and but she was expecting something
Mhm.
different. Um, and she barely wrote any ideas, arms crossed, didn't think anything was amazing, and just left middle of the seminar. And I thought, wow, this is the same basic stuff that both me and her probably heard. But because I was open to hearing it again, the subconscious mind loves repetition. My brain was already wired to see how could I apply the basics in a new light.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that is
Yeah.
overlooked when people are talking about learner engagement
Yeah.
is the mindset.
So let's shift the focus on your approach. So what makes your approach in your business so effective? So I know like you work with other businesses to enhance their day to day operations. What makes your company different in terms of how you approach learner engagement? Is it the strategy? Is it the team behind it, or all of it?
I think the thing is when I'm working with the business owners or the higher ups in their organization,
Hmm.
is that I'm it's kind of a no bullshit
Hmm.
apparent around when you meet with me.
Yeah.
And I tell people a lot of my clients are super busy
Yeah.
and they bookmark both of their meetings back to back.
Hmm.
And I don't like that
Yeah.
because you're in hustle mode and your adrenaline is pumping.
Of
You're
course.
not going to receive things if your adrenaline is working. You're not going to retain the information as well.
Hmm.
You will at a neurocortex level,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I want to get you as close and deeper into your brain as much as possible.
Of course. Yeah.
I'm very much of a mind body connection.
Hmm.
So when we meet, if they've been bookmarked, they all know to have like a few minutes to themselves
Yeah.
before they meet with me, just to
Hmm.
quiet their own mind. That transition period is so crucial and
Yeah.
so overlooked.
Yeah.
And then everybody needs to come with a pen and paper.
It's
If
got
they
mine
don't,
here.
yeah, exactly, a pen and paper, because that, no wonder you're teaching this. You have a pen and paper.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you put a pen to paper, and you can say this probably better than I can, and the fact that you're literally telling your entire body that you're here to learn.
Yeah. Of course.
And then we create a lot of workshops. I don't do lectures, I do workshops. And workshops meaning I have the team engage.
Hmm.
Because if you're just sitting there and learning, you're just absorbing, but you need a body, you need exercises,
Yeah.
live person interactions for it to really hit.
Great. So let's talk numbers. And can you walk us through a real world example where your organization has helped a company significantly? So in terms of learner engagement, how have you helped a company so then they can grow as their business grows?
Okay. So I'm going to use this example only because it's a good example and I'm like a little shy to share it. Is actually my uncle's pediatrics clinic,
Hmm.
because he had a running business. He had a dominance in
Hmm.
that city in Georgia, America.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, a new pediatrics clinic was opened with a younger woman, more beautiful, more in line with how the
Yeah.
culture, I guess, like how the people over there looked, because he was a Pakistani immigrant and
Yeah.
she's just a white woman.
Yeah.
And because of that, people were naturally starting to gravitate, and he was losing a lot of his customers, clients, patients there.
Yeah.
So we had to do a lot of work around that. And the thing that made it most powerful was the fact that he needed this change. He needed it. So every time we would meet,
Hmm.
yes, he loved me and all that stuff. But we know families are actually the hardest clients to have,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah.
But because he was in such a bind, he came in ready to operate. And it was not even just that. He got the buy-in from his team to do this. So everyone was very much wanting to keep this business alive and keep it back to the numbers it was before. So because they had that desire, common goal, not just with him, but his entire nurses staff,
Yeah.
it made it so much easier to implement because it wasn't just a maybe this would be nice kind of thing. It's like ride or die
Okay.
kind of thing. And that I think that mentality was really helpful for him.
Yeah. And did that help the clinic grow in revenue, would you say?
It gained back. So I think we gained back 27% back
Yeah.
revenue after 8 months working together.
Okay.
So
That's really good. Yeah,
yeah.
that's really good.
Yeah, but
Okay.
a lot of these things in the short amount, I always get shy sharing these numbers because
No, it's
number
good. Yeah, it's good to understand how you've worked together as a business and how you've grown in revenue. So it shows that what you're doing is impactful and positively.
I think what was most kind of cool about that was not so much the revenue, but
Yeah,
how we made the clients that came back,
of
how
course.
we optimized them to in a more ethical way for both him and the patients to be here longer and spend more in ways that worked
Yeah,
for
yeah,
everyone. It was a win-win
yeah,
kind of situation. So it's not always about bringing new people and new clients. It's like seeing how are you maximizing or optimizing your current patient base,
yeah,
client base,
of
consumer,
course.
whatever you want to call
Yeah,
your
yeah, that's
clients.
fine. So let's shift into the business side, like your growth, your lead gen, and how you stay competitive. So, what does growth look like for your organization in the next 6 to 12 months? Are there any specific regions, like industries or services you're focused on?
So the 6 to 12 months, I actually is just me, just me. And sometimes I have somebody that does admin here and there, but it's just me. Right now, we're ramping up the business to another level. So I'm hoping to take home pay of 250,000
Okay.
US dollars. Because even though
Mhm.
I live in London, I still
Yeah.
think in dollars.
Nice. Mhm.
So we're ramping up for that, and I say we, I don't know why I'm saying we, but I do have a few amazing programs that have just been released that
Yeah.
I'm like super excited to help all sorts of price ranges for
Yeah.
my clients.
Yeah.
And mainly I have worked with a lot of healthcare and wellness clinics, but I also been finding a lot of joy helping other businesses that bring joy to
Mhm.
people, that not pleasure, not happiness, but true joy.
Yeah.
And that are service based, that isn't materialistic. So expanding that region, helping those business owners is kind of my focus.
Okay, it's fantastic. It's good to know where you're moving up to. So what would you say your biggest challenges in your business right now?
I think I will tell you is that I created this amazing beginners introductions
Mhm.
program called the Ice Cream for Success Accountability Program.
Yeah.
And I think it's an absolute delight. What we do in this program is it's not just a basic accountability program, it's an accountability program where we look at your to do list
Yeah.
and we literally criticize you on doing actions that actually grow your business forward. Is it just prep work, indirect work? No, we want money making moves that you're
Yeah.
doing every day in your business.
Okay.
And then we have really fun accountability games that we play with each other for
Yeah.
this. And I know the impact it has on people,
Yeah.
yet getting more people on board has been like pulling teeth.
Oh,
Because every business owner, accountability, I understand, is not not
yeah.
as sexy, I guess,
Yeah.
but accountability is something everyone needs
Mm-hmm.
because
100%.
it's so easy to get into our comfort zone or create like micro excuses
Yeah.
to do something. And even though we are continuously pushing beyond our comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
if somebody else can reach their hand out as you're climbing the mountaintop, it
Yeah.
just makes it more fun.
I totally agree with you.
So that is the accountability group that I'm working. I would love to get more people in because I know the direct impact it can have in a person's life in just 1 or 2 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I really found it interesting how you're talking about accountability because again, like you said, people get so comfortable that they do make up excuses, and to have something that holds them accountable, it just pushes them even further to make those little moves to get their money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. For instance, like I reached out to my goal was like 12 accountability, not accountability, sorry, 12 collaborators to work with.
Hmm. Hmm.
But my friend in the accountability pod, because I'm also doing this with you guys,
Yeah.
that was makes it fun. She pushed me to do 15,
Yeah.
and I would have done 12, but the pushing is like, fine, I'll do 15.
Yeah.
And the games that ends up playing is one of my pod mates isn't, she does not like Trump at
Yeah.
all. But if she didn't do the stuff that she said she did, and this is something she came up with her own, that if she didn't do this,
Hmm.
she would have to post that she's a supporter of Trump on social media.
Oh,
And that scared her so much.
that is a fun way to, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's a fun way to do these things. And then like some of them is like if you're like whatever causes you're for that you already give charity to,
Hmm.
well, if you don't do it, then we'll give you then you have to give money to the anti version of that charity.
Oh gosh, that is pretty smart, and yeah, it's a smart idea. Hopefully that goes well.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
like as we've been talking, I'm like really happy that you invited me here to this call, but I'm curious what made you want to talk about this topic because not everyone talks about learner engagement.
of course. So with me, I worked in the education and the professional coaching spaces, so helping them um, with their day-to-day operations. And some of the problems that I've asked them what they've had is they've had problems that are engagement or students lack of engagement or learner engagement, I would say. So I thought it would be a brilliant idea to kind of discuss the topic in a more of an open setting where other businesses who are in the same industry can look into this episode and see if what other business are struggling, is it the same as them, and how they're trying to overcome that. So yeah, that's what I kind of thought. I was doing a podcast series anyway, so I thought this is one of the main things I want to talk about because in the past I kind of struggled with listening attentively. So I researched ways on how to kind of make my attention span grow. So I wouldn't say I have ADHD, but I would say I used to be more of a procrastinator. And I thought, nope, I have to change my ways. I have to kind of listen more attentively because that's when it gets into my brain, and that's when I understand and take the small steps I need to get to where I am.
I think with you saying that stuff is like so relatable to so many people.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for bringing this topic up quite a bit because like I think when you were telling me how you're having trouble focusing, the thing that came up for me is the fact that sometimes it's the emotions that we don't want to face that's coming up.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say for me right now, creating content is a fairly new thing for me.
Hmm.
It's out of my comfort zone.
Hmm.
So, planning the content requires another level of focus than any other task. And it's because there is a whole level of discomfort that's associated with it. And when there's discomfort, or anxiety or fear of failure or any kind of feelings that are negative,
Hmm.
it makes it harder to pay attention.
Of course.
So you have to like talk to your feelings as it's another person
Yeah.
and say like it's okay. Like for me when I'm doing content, it takes me a long time. And it's because I have these imposter syndrome ideas or all these thoughts having, and like it requires a lot of focus and planning to say, okay, what am I saying and all this stuff. But I have to just say, like, the thing that helps me is that what's my why for doing this?
Yeah.
So, what's your why for creating this podcast?
It helps me to kind of focus on the current challenges that businesses face and getting the founders of those businesses to speak their mind and ask for their perspective of what they would want and how they want this whole challenge that they're facing to change. And it just gives me an idea of how I can help them as well. So I thought, yeah, this can be a platform for to hear businesses and founders of businesses their thoughts and their opinions.
Okay, yeah, that's actually really beautiful. Like you're pulling the curtain or
Yeah,
looking under the hood of like what's the real issues of it at being a business owner
yeah,
and helping other business owners feel kind of like seen in that kind of light.
yeah,
It's actually really beautiful. One of the reasons I asked that is because that's your why. So
yeah,
whenever somebody is struggling with their work, what's their why? And
yeah,
I think
100%.
once that's your why, it makes it slightly easier to focus along with all the tools, but this is a deeper level
Yeah,
of a body to get your body along the stuff. Because we can talk about, there's so many different layers of you, and
yeah,
most people talk about the top layers. In deep, your why is what's going to really help you focus more.
yeah. So that was it. That was my reason for this podcast and this episode today.
I love it. I think it's such a great one. Thank you
Yeah.
for having me so much.
So, for the listeners who want to learn more about your organization and connect with you directly, where should they go?
Well, there's multiple ways. There's my Instagram that you can access, and it has you can call to book a 15-minute clarity call, or you can get, if you, yeah, 15-minute clarity call you can get with me or send me an email. I'm always looking at my emails.
Fine,
So,
I'll tag your Instagram and email below.
yes, please do. And yeah, I do have a website. So it's just www.offbeatoutlook.com.
Okay, great, fantastic. So a big thank you to Zehra for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and like and share. Thank you.
Thank